What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Not for Debate podcast. I'm your host, Great One Devore. It's just me and Wes tonight. What's going on, Wes?
Man, I'm here. We here. Just me and you.
Yeah, man. It's unfortunate AJ and Banks couldn't join us this evening. I did have a lot of stuff to get off my chest. So I'm just gonna have to save it for the next time for them. But I was thinking, right? I was thinking about adding a brand new segment to the podcast.
Quick question. You ever been hit on by a gay dude?
Actually, yes, I have. Did you want to hear that story? Do we have time for that story? Actually,
Yeah, it shit happened. It happened the other day. It was weird. It was real weird. It was weird because I didn't realize it was happening. But anyway, that's a long story. One I don't particularly care to get into.
Oh, I thought you was going to elaborate on that just a little bit.
No. I think it's best we keep that where it was.
Okay. So, you know what? We're gonna end up calling this "What Would You Do?" All right, but I think that's an appropriate name for it. What would you do? So, when it comes to texting, for me, if I'm texting a dude, I like the text to be brief. I don't like them to be, a full blown conversation. Like, state your business and go on with the rest of your day. Now, I met this dude at the bank, right? He was depositing my check.
Right.
We started talking. We was cool. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, maybe we could get a drink sometime.
Whoa.
Now, I'm not one to judge or anything. So I'm not one to judge. I'm like, okay, dude want to be my friend. Who wouldn't want to be my friend? You know what I'm saying? So I gave the dude my number, right? So I go, he just randomly hits me up when I was in the CVS trying to figure out if my girl asked me for double A's or was it for triple A's, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he starts asking me like, what are you doing? I like some girl would ask you if you try to, get. Yeah, like something like that. I'm like, yo, like, whoa, this is not how this is going to go. Like, I ain't say it to him, but in my head, I'm like, oh no, not like this. Like, if you want to chill, like, just hit me and be like, hey, yo, you trying to, go out? Not even say it like that. Like, I don't even know how you supposed to say it, but
so it wasn't even like manly. It wasn't like, yo, what's good? It was like, hey, big head.
It was something like that. Like, it was just like caught me off guard. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
it's like,
don't get me wrong.
Go ahead.
I'm not homophobic. I don't really, you know what I'm saying? If that's what you want to do, live your life as long as you're happy. But then sometimes it hits you by surprise. Like, I'm pretty sure you wasn't expecting him to text you like that.
Yeah, I was like driving, like I was like, whoa, let me read this again. Cause I had the phone on the Bluetooth in the car, so the female on the phone, she'll read it to me. I'm like, whoa, did I hear that right? Is that really what he just said? So
yeah.
Is it me being weird? For me to keep it brief with a dude on a phone as far as a texting aspect of it, like, keep it short. All right. What do you need me to do? Yes or no answer. Click. No more talking.
Well, this is what you do. Since the segment is called "What Will You Do?" This is what you do. You keep it brief. You keep it straight to the point. 'Cause let me tell you, my case the other day, it was very unusual. Like, this was like stalking. I felt stalked. Like, I'm at this hotel and I always, misplace my keys or lose them, or whatever. I always got to go get a new key. So I was down there one day getting some keys, and I told the guy I would bring all the keys that I had up in my room. I'll bring them down. So I did that. I did just that. I went up, got my keys after he made me a new one, brought them down, and I noticed this guy there, this black guy standing there, and he's just kind of like watching me. I'm like, okay, it's a little weird. Why is he watching me, staring into my soul? So yeah, whatever. Got my keys, went back to my room. Couple days passed. I'm eating at Golden Corral, and then this waiter comes. He's like, "How you doing? My name is." I ain't gonna say his name, but he's like, "How you doing? My name is let's say Sean. Sean, anything you need, I'm here for you." I ain't paying him no attention. You know how waiters come through. He's like, "Yeah, all right, I got you." So
Right.
he leaves. He comes back a couple minutes later, and now the other guys are at the table now because they weren't there the first time he came. The other guys I'm eating with,
Right.
and then he goes, "Hey, are you still staying at the hotel?" I say, "What?" Like, you caught me off guard with that one. I thought you was gonna ask me if I want some more water, bro. What? I was so confused, and we all just kind of looked at each other like, "Who is he talking to?" Then he looking at me. I say, "Huh?" It was like a very long pause, man. It just felt so awkward. And then I was like, I was so lost and confused. I said, so what hotel are you talking about? The Baymont? And I know I ain't staying at no Baymont. I'm staying at a Comfort Inn. Then this dude, he
Right.
sucked his teeth. He was like, I was like, oh man, not this. This can't be happening right now. Man, them boys rolled me all the way home. They did not let it go. I mean, that was kind of weird, man.
I don't know. I think it could have went either way. He just asked, like, you still staying at
Hey,
would you say that hotel was called?
I don't even want to say it again, bro. Might be listening. But anyway, what you do, you keep it short, straight to the point. That's it. That's what you do. You ain't got to go into
Yeah.
details.
Okay. Cause I'm just like, man, I'm not looking to having no type of friendship like this where we're like exchanging diary entries with each other's day. I don't want to do that. That's what I got a girl for. I don't need another dude to do that with me. Like, even if you or Banks was to do that, like when we be texted, like, don't you just notice how I just like don't text back after a while?
Yeah, I noticed that. You keep everything to one word minimum, which is fine. I mean, as long as I get your point. All right, I ain't trying to tell you my life story.
That's just like it's just I don't know what it is. It's just maybe I'm just a weird person, but I just like to keep it short, simple, and to the point. I
That
don't like to elaborate. I just want to get it done. That's just all I want to do. Get it done. Just tell me what's on your mind, so we can keep it moving.
keep on going
Basically,
about your day. No, I'm saying that's what I'm saying.
right.
You're not weird. It's just sometimes that junk catch you by surprise.
All right. So with the trade deadline upon us, where we have like another week left, we had a couple of NFL trades that went on yesterday. Started with the Quandre Diggs trade. The Seattle Seahawks ended up trading him to, excuse me, the Detroit Lions ended up trading Quandre Diggs to the Seattle Seahawks. Now, the Seattle Seahawks end up giving up a 7th round pick and a 2020 5th round pick,
That don't
which
sound like a really steep price for what they got. Diggs is a decent safety, and it seems like the Seahawks are up in that division. Well, I think they're in second place, but
second, yes.
they're still doing hella good. I feel like that move says we're trying to win now. We're trying to get ahead of the Rams since we're already ahead of the Rams.
We're not worried about the Rams. They worry about the Niners. That's what they want to do. They worry about the Rams. Worried about the
Well,
San Francisco 49ers.
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I haven't seen enough from Jimmy Garoppolo. I haven't seen that. Like, I haven't seen his moment where he can take the offense and take them in his hands and move them down the field. What I have seen is all the running backs. They are loaded at running backs.
Yeah, that's true.
So until I see Jimmy G like take over the game and just orchestrate, uh I'm gonna say the Niners are like they're gonna be good. They're gonna have a great record, but I don't see them, going to the Super Bowl. Defense is good. Defense off the chain. But I think they're pretenders right now. Every year it's one team, one or two teams that are just pretenders. I think they're the pretenders of the NFC.
Well, it's been proven that quarterbacks don't have to be elite for them to be able to go to the playoffs and possibly make a push for the Super Bowl.
Let me tell you something about that. This is a changing game. You have to have offense to win now. Like it's getting so ridiculous with these pass interference penalties and roughing the passer. It's getting ridiculous. I feel like that's really changing how you able to play defense. So now just playing defense ain't gonna be enough.
Right.
Playing defense and controlling the ball is I don't think it's gonna be enough now.
I see what you're saying, but I think as long as you have like a dominant pass rush, I believe defense still wins championships.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, but
And go ahead, Wes.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was going to say, since we was on the 49ers, they also made a trade for Emmanuel Sanders from the Denver Broncos for a third and a fourth round pick.
Hmm.
I think that's a nice weapon for Jimmy Garoppolo. But I was actually looking forward to the Miami Dolphins actually making a trade with the Niners because there were rumors swirling about the Dolphins trading Devontae Parker to the Niners.
For what though? What you want more picks?
Honestly, at this point, I think we have a lot of depth at the wide receiver position. Preston Williams is emerging to be the Dolphins' number one receiver. Devontae Parker hasn't exactly panned out the way that we wanted him to be, even though he's been extremely productive this year. But if you can get something for him, why not?
Fair enough, but I mean, how many first round draft picks do y'all have?
I know they're not getting another first round draft pick, but we have three first round draft picks. I'd probably say you probably get like a second or a third for Devontae Parker. He's still young, he's only like 26 years old.
Yeah. All right. So y'all got the Steelers and the Texans, right? And then y'all have
Yeah. Um. So let me ask you this: with the trade deadline next week, who do you see most likely to pull the trigger on a trade from now until next week?
uh well, one that I was reading up on earlier today, and I would love to see this happen is OJ Howard being traded to the Seahawks, whether it be for draft pick. Well, they already did that today with Diggs, so it probably had to be a
Right,
player and a draft pick.
right. Honestly, I was going to say the Philadelphia Eagles. They're going to do something with that secondary. There is no way they're going to continue on playing with that secondary that terrible. Like if they plan on making a push for the playoffs, because I believe like they've been in do or die mode for like the past 3 years. they're going to have to do something. Like Dak Prescott shredded him up on Sunday night. Like that is just unacceptable. I don't know what it is about them playing in Dallas, but Dak Prescott shredded him up. They got to do something. That's why I was surprised they didn't end up making the trade for Marcus Peters. They didn't end up getting Jalen Ramsey in a trade. Who else is out there that's possibly? Patrick Peterson's still out there for a possible trade because the Cardinals were talking about that for a good while. Not exactly sure if he's still for sale, but if I was the Philadelphia Eagles, I would seriously consider looking at a top corner in the league and trying to pull the trigger on a trade.
Well, sometimes fixing the secondary, sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes
the pass rush is there.
I mean, is it?
Well, I really can't complain.
I don't think nothing's there. Zeke ran for 100. Amari caught for 100. Zach threw for like 300. What is there?
But that's even last year. Would you say the Philadelphia Eagles defense was good?
It was halfway decent last year.
But well, Dak threw all over that secondary like he was crazy. Amari Cooper had caught like 3 different bombs that late game in the season they had. Like it was ridiculous. The secondary needs help. They need a corner opposite of Darby, and honestly, I don't even think Darby that good anymore. I was a huge Darby fan when he was with Buffalo, but Darby, he basically looked like Nnamdi Asomugha when he first came to the Philadelphia Eagles. You remember that?
Yeah,
That's what he looked like right now.
Wasn't that good, but I mean, like I just said,
he was terrible.
I don't think you can just patch the way their secondary. You can't just patch it up. It might be time to just bust it down. Tatiana, start it over. Bust down.
All right, and there was one other trade I wanted to get your thoughts on, and that was the New England Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons trade, where the Falcons ended up sending Muhamad Sanu to the Patriots for a second-round pick. I know how you feel about the New England Patriots. You probably do know how I feel about the Atlanta Falcons at this point. Like, they're just
underachievers.
Yes. Like I told you before, I'll never put money on the Atlanta Falcons again. Like they just seem like they're just getting their teeth kicked in by almost every team they end up playing on the schedule.
It was funny is it's not even a question of talent. I don't know if you remember the year they went to the Super Bowl, they have all the same pieces. All of them.
Yes.
If not,
they have all of them.
If not more. And how Dan Quinn can't put it together. I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator or what's going on. That offense should be averaging at least 28 to 35 points a game. At least.
That's true. They have Julio still there. They had they did have Muhamad Sanu. They had Calvin Ridley.
You know what? You know why they I think they really made him expendable? I think it's because of Austin Hooper. Honestly. My honest opinion. You really don't need him when Hooper is moving the ball all the way down the field. Then you get down there, you either running in Freeman or throwing it up to Julio.
True that, but I think every offense needs at least 3 offensive weapons.
As
far as receiver,
Ridley, Hooper, and Julio. By the way, speaking of that game, did you see Devontae Freeman get lifted up by Aaron Donald?
I did see that. He looked like a little child.
He picked him up and started walking with him. Like I think that's the last guy I would try to pick a fight with in the NFL.
Especially how small Devontae Freeman is.
No, I mean it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Stand up for yourself, but he picked him up and he was walking with him. And people were trying to hold him back. I was like, man, this dude is half gorilla or something.
Yeah, that was crazy. You know, I was going to try to save this for when Banks was going to end up being on the podcast, but I do have a confession to make.
What's up?
I know you said this. What was it, last week or the week before that? About when we was having our MVP candidate conversation.
Oh man, Banks should have been her.
But the podcast guru is gonna go ahead and say this.
Okay,
right?
Go ahead, spit it.
We're definitely going to have to throw Lamar Jackson in this conversation. Now, I want to clarify this because I've never insulted Lamar Jackson as far as him as a player.
You said he wasn't a great passer. You said that numerous times.
I'm gonna stand by my guns on that. I still don't think he's a great passer.
You know what? I wish Banks was here because I would let him give you all that gas. You get all.
I'm sure
the
you
gas
would.
Right
now. I'm sure you would, but
Banks, I know
you're
gonna listen to this, Banks. Next time you get on, you gotta gas him up. You got to. He gave you the pass.
Well, that sucks to be Banks now, doesn't it? I see the Baltimore Ravens are sitting at 5-2. You literally would have to throw. You literally have to throw Lamar Jackson in that MVP race. To be quite honest with you, it's kind of fluctuating for me right now who the front runner is, but right now it's probably Lamar Jackson and maybe Aaron Rodgers because I love what Aaron Rodgers did. And we can throw Kirk Cousins in there too.
Wait, bro. I mean, McCaffrey only took 1 week off, so you still got.
Yeah, I know that, but
you still got.
How often do you see a running back win the MVP?
Well, according to all. Yeah, hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, that was actually Banks calling me. According to all the experts, McCaffrey is on pace to be in. Banks, stop calling me. He's on pace to break a lot of records.
True, but like I said though, how often do you see a running back win the MVP? I think the last running back won the MVP was it Marshall Faulk?
Was it LT? Let's see.
Yeah, it was LT. He ended up scoring like 36 touchdowns in a year or something like that.
I mean, McCaffrey probably gonna bust that down. He's at 9. He can bust that down. If you recall, last year the dude had 100 receptions and almost 1,000 yards receiving. Also, now it's not just a game of numbers; it's also what you actually do for the team, and what he does for the team. He makes everybody else look better because you have to stop him before stopping.
So anybody. How come he couldn't do that with Cam Newton? I think that would have to do more with Cam Newton inability. I wouldn't say Cam Newton's inability.
Cam was hurt.
I think Cam it was more towards the offense.
Give Cam the benefit of the doubt. He was hurt. He tried to play and knew he couldn't play at full capacity. So give him the benefit of the doubt there. Now, if he comes back and takes over for Kyle Allen.
They already said that Kyle Allen's got to start. They already said that.
Okay, that's what they're saying. But, a coach like Nick Saban said, I'm not going back to college. I'm here to coach the Dolphins. And he left. You know what? I don't believe nothing they say. Nothing the press or the media or the coaches, anybody say. And you think they just going to throw Cam away like that? Cam took them to the Super Bowl, man. They going to give him one last shot. You better believe it.
I can agree with you on that, especially after what the Dolphins did this previous week. I could definitely agree with you on that.
Oh,
like I always expect the unexpected.
And by the way, my prediction with that is Kyle Allen will get that starting job, and Cam Newton probably will get traded for by the Dolphins.
I think the Cowboys are going to trade for him.
And they gonna sign Dak back, bro.
No, they won't. They haven't done it yet. I'm still waiting, by the
way. You are still waiting. 8 weeks later.
Yeah, we're 8 weeks. Oops, dropped my phone. We are 8 weeks into the season already, and when do we begin this conversation? We began this conversation 6 months ago, literally 6 months ago, and we've seen Jared Goff get paid, which I thought that was a stupid move. We saw Carson Wentz get paid, Russell Wilson get paid, Aaron Rodgers got paid again, if I'm not mistaken. No Dak Prescott.
That would be
I'm just saying.
a huge mistake, in my opinion, because Dak and Cam have two different sets of skills. They definitely have two different
Can
skills.
you imagine that though? Cam Newton and Zeke Elliott on the field at the same time though.
That means you'll just try to make Cam beat you throwing the ball. That's what that means.
That's all good though, but Cam though, that's a whole different monster when he running with the football though, compared to Dak.
It is.
You talk about a 6'5", 260 man running at you. Like
Well,
they actually designed quarterback power for this dude.
yeah, Dak ain't built like that. Dak is not built like
Now,
that.
don't get me wrong. Dak is a, he got some girth to him, but he ain't Cam though. Cam, that's a big boy. No homo, but that's a big boy though.
Yeah, you're right, man. But I don't see the fit. I don't really see it. All right, swap Cam out with Dak. What do you think Dak does with Carolina's offense? Better or worse?
First of all, Kyle Allen is a better quarterback, so I don't see Dak playing in Carolina.
No.
I'll just put it in perspective.
Kyle Allen's better than Dak?
Yes.
Kyle Allen hasn't done anything yet. I mean, neither has Dak, but still. Nah.
I'm take my chances with Kyle Allen, and I don't have to pay him yet.
Well, you looking at it from a business perspective. I'm talking about if I need a guy to drive me down, like in a clutch, I'm not going to pick Kyle Allen over Dak.
I would.
I'll probably pick Dak over Cam Newton, too, honestly.
Look, that offensive line and Zeke Elliott have masked a lot of Dak's weaknesses. And I think as soon as he ends up going to a different team, those weaknesses will come into the light. And whatever sucker decides to pay Dak over $100 million, they're going to be regretting it.
Don't speak too soon, buddy, because your Dolphins do not have a quarterback currently. They have quarterbacks.
We have a quarterback.
You have quarterbacks.
We're protecting our investment right now. That's what we're doing. We're protecting our investment.
You have men with beards trying to throw the football. That's what you have. You don't have a quarterback yet.
And Josh Rosen is being protected right now. He's our investment. That's all good. When 2020 hits and hopefully the Miami Dolphins end up getting the offensive line to protect Josh Rosen, it's going to be go time.
Okay.
They'd be like, man, Josh Rosen's a beast. If we was to go back to that 2018 draft, let's be real here. Is Baker Mayfield really a better quarterback than Josh Rosen at this point right now?
I don't think so. The best quarterback from that class is showing. He's showing it right now.
Who that is?
Who you said is your front runner for MVP? Yeah.
I concede. You're right, because Sam Darnold just threw his 6 picks last night, so can't say nothing about Sam Darnold. Josh Allen, when I watched him play, to be quite honest with you, I don't even think Josh Allen's that good of a quarterback, but people going to argue with me up and down about the record. The record has nothing to do with the way he played. So, I'm just saying, as long as the man don't turn the ball over,
Josh Allen's probably
they should be good.
The second best out of that class.
What? No, absolutely not. I still take Sam Darnold. Like, I understand the mobility aspect of it because that's the day and age that we are in. Like, basically, if you're not mobile, a team will not take you. But Josh Allen is He's just so erratic. Like if you actually sat down and watched that Miami Dolphins game, like Josh Allen has so many opportunities to break the game wide open where they could literally run away with it, and he just missed. He just missed wide open receivers. I just don't see Josh Allen as of right now as a a top three, shoot, top 20 quarterback. Let's put it like that. Top 20 quarterback. I'll take Dak over Josh Allen right now. That's how bad Josh Allen is. Just saying.
Okay, but you also still think Jordan Howard is a top 5 back in this league. So yeah. Hey, I ain't gonna lie though. Jordan Howard has been doing his thing. He been doing his part over there. I
I'm
don't think Chicago should have cut him either.
Me neither. Because right now they're struggling to find an identity as far as offensively. And Mitchell Trubisky ain't helping them either because he's a terrible quarterback. Terrible.
Would you say Blake Bortles terrible or Sam Bradford terrible?
I never thought Sam Bradford was a terrible quarterback. I just thought he was extremely injury prone. Blake Bortles,
That's pretty
I
terrible.
think that's a little bit of a stretch. That's a little bit of a stretch. He's on the way. He's on the way. I wouldn't put him just in that category just yet, but he's definitely on the way.
Hey, a quick question. What's going on with your boys, man? When they gonna get a win?
I'm glad you said that because this Monday the Miami Dolphins are traveling up to Pittsburgh to face your Pittsburgh Steelers, and
Wait, I know you don't think they're gonna win
thankfully,
that.
I'm just giving them a brief preview of what's about to go down. Okay, so Mike Tomlin came out and said that the Dolphins are not a bad football team. Your head coach said this. So I told multiple people about the Miami Dolphins. The team, every team that we end up playing on the schedule, they're literally going to be like, shaking and being like, man, is this going to be the week where the Dolphins end up getting their first win against us?
That
That's
is
something y'all
true.
definitely don't want to be. We just trying to find our sucker. We just searching for a sucker right now. That's all we doing. And
That's
and right now, it's looking like the Pittsburgh Steelers might just be that sucker.
well, first off, you're absolutely right. That's probably our best chance at winning. It will be this week. Second off, I wasn't even talking about the Dolphins. I was talking about your Bengals, man.
Oh, my Bengals. Like I said, ain't nobody's perfect. The podcast guru ain't perfect. But since we sit back and talk about who is right and who is wrong, how about Brian Tannehill? Perfect passer rating. How about that?
Hey, you gonna have to take that up with your boy Banks, man. But
See,
I said I agree
I
with you
knew
on
he
that.
knew this was gonna come up.
He probably did. I went on ahead and agreed with you on that because Mariota wasn't he wasn't like he wasn't playing up to where they drafted him. Like if you know, was he number 2 pick behind Jameis?
Yep, second pick of the draft.
Yeah, I mean, if they taking a quarterback that high, you gotta work, man. And I don't think he's a good fit for them.
And to go back to our previous conversation about quarterbacks a team that will probably trade up in the draft to get a quarterback. Got to look at the Tennessee Titans. You got to look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now because like I said, it's looking like them two quarterbacks ain't gonna pan out. So whoever wants Tua or whoever wants Justin Herbert in the top two picks, that pick is gonna be extremely valuable. You can definitely you're definitely gonna give up your own first round pick along with a first round pick in the 2021 draft too as well.
Agreed. And those two teams definitely need quarterbacks now because they drafted them guys where they shouldn't have been drafted at.
Now think about that for a second. Say if the Dolphins actually did get the first overall pick and they pulled the trigger on a trade with one of those two teams, they basically trade back in the draft, which probably be like what
A couple spots.
5 or 6 spots,
Yeah.
like 5 or 6 spots, maybe the most, and then they end up getting another pick in the 2021 draft where they end up having another two picks. Come on, man, it's chess, not checkers. It's chess, not checkers.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The Dolphins been playing chess and checkers for a very long time, since
Well,
1973.
and for this very long time, they've been getting the game
For
confused.
night,
Sometimes they want to play chess, sometimes they want to play checkers. They just get it mixed up sometimes. They just can't find their way. But right now, we on board fully with chess.
man,
We playing chess right
since 1973, y'all ain't got it right yet.
now. So I also wanted to bring up because this is a two-part story here. I know the 49ers win against the Washington Redskins was extremely ugly, right? But Kyle Shanahan, this was reported, he ended up giving the game ball to his father, Mike Shanahan, after the game against the Washington Redskins. I'm pretty sure you know the whole backstory around the whole Shanahan's being with the Washington Redskins, and they ended up drafting RG3 and Kirk Cousins, and then they just ended up running out of Washington after that. You familiar with that story?
Not really. I do know Mike was coaching there, and Kyle his offensive coordinator,
Yes, Kyle was his offensive coordinator.
and the RG3 thing didn't go well for some reason. Kirk Cousins got in there. They didn't fully trust him. I guess they didn't want to pay him. Uh, I guess they tried to make it seem as if uh, Mike Mike did. He was RG3's coach, wasn't he? Mike Shanahan.
Yes, Mike Shanahan was his coach. Now, Mike Shanahan has broken his silence about the whole situation. I believe it was a couple months ago, if I'm not mistaken. So you look at the offense that RG3 was running. RG3 ended up getting NFL Rookie of the Year that year, and like the way that Mike Shanahan literally adapted his whole offense, because Mike Shanahan was known for running a what do you call it? His offenses were famous for getting
Running.
great success out of running backs.
Yep.
Yes, it was. They were known for getting great success out of running backs. Whether it be Terrell Davis, whether it be Mike
Mike Anderson.
Mike Be- Mike Anderson, thank you. Mike Anderson, Tatum Bell, Mike Bell, Clinton Portis. Like
Shout
he's
out. Shout out
he
CP.
gotten a lot of success.
One of the greats.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot of success out of those backs. So for him to bring in a RG3, it was kind of like a new breed. And honestly, when you look at the evidence, Mike Shanahan really didn't want to give up three first round picks for RG3. I think he just ended up wanting to draft Kirk Cousins. That's why they ended up drafting Kirk Cousins in the third round. But I think that might have just been a Daniel Snyder move, which the Dwayne Haskins move that was rumored happened to be another Daniel Snyder move. Jay Gruden didn't end up wanting to make that move. So they just seem to have like a power struggle going on there, where Daniel Snyder's trying to be like the late Al Davis to try to make all the decisions. Like when it comes down to it, I think the owners should just take a back seat and communicate with the GM on a regular basis. Do not intervene with the GM's decisions, but at the same time, just make sure that your boat ain't sinking. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I got you. Some GMs they can't do that. They feel like it's their team. Well, not GM. Some owners they feel like it's their team, and they need to be in control of it. And one very well is Jerry Jones. It's almost as if He's the coach, the GM, the owner, everything. He tries to control it like it's everything. Everything's in his hands, in his power.
I could agree with that. I think he's a little bit more. He coaches more than Jason Garrett. Honestly, I barely see Jason Garrett talk. I just literally realized this last week when the Dallas Cowboys ended up losing to the Jets. I barely saw Jason Garrett talk.
Mm.
I barely saw him talk.
Man, it's like Jerry Jones
So
is the coach, the owner, a fan. I'm pretty sure if he could put
right,
on some pads and go out there and kick or something, he probably would. But
he's kind of like I don't know what it is about these Dallas owners, but they're really really passionate about their teams. Because Mark Cuban is the exact same way with the Dallas Mavericks.
I
So
was just about to bring him
that's
up.
that.
That's another one.
Yeah,
Speaking of
he's very very passionate.
did you watch any basketball today? I think the season started today.
I'm waiting for the first big game before I make that decision.
Oh,
Well, excuse me, before I start watching.
okay.
Especially, I'm looking forward to watching my Bucks. You know how I feel about my Bucks. I feel like we got the short end of the stick, to be honest with you. But what I was going to say was leading back into the 49ers and the Washington Redskins that had such sentimental value to Kyle Shanahan and Mike Shanahan. So this week coming up, we have Kirk Cousins going. Well, excuse me, the Washington Redskins going up to Minnesota to face the Vikings. It's unfortunate that the Vikings aren't going to Washington because Kirk Cousins. This game is extremely pivotal to Kirk Cousins, considering the fact that they drafted him. They didn't want to extend Kirk Cousins long term substantially. Excuse me, and he's coming in. He's coming to play the Washington Redskins. Like, is that like that's probably one of the games I've been looking forward to the most this season. To be quite honest with you.
Yeah, that's actually sort of intriguing.
So honestly, I think I could see Kirk Cousins throwing for like over 300 yards. Like if you didn't seem to realize over the past 3 weeks, Kirk Cousins has literally thrown for over 900 yards, like nearly 1,000 yards over the past 3 weeks, and almost threw 10 touchdowns.
Yes, I mean it's pretty intriguing that he's gonna get to go get a revenge game, possibly.
I
And
love those games.
and
I really love those games.
it's also Thursday night football where the Redskins I think they're pretty sore already. Um, the Vikings not so much. The Vikings beat down who was they played last week? They beat down the Lions. They jumped out early on the Lions. And
Oh yeah.
I think the Vikings are gonna take it to them.
Are we a believer in Kirk Cousins now, or are you still on the
Uh,
fence?
I'm on the fence, bro. Kirk Cousins has weapons, but I just don't see his I don't know, man. He's just not. I'm not sold on.
Wes, I'm gonna read the stats to you again. Almost threw for 1,000 yards over the past 3 weeks. Almost 10 touchdowns over the past 3 weeks. He's balling right now. He's clicking. And with the Washington Redskins coming up and the Minnesota Vikings have such a dominant defense, that's the perfect formula for success right now.
Yeah. Um. Well, this could also be the game he goes on another slump. So
I don't think so.
you
This is the
just
year for Kirk Cousins.
I don't know. His it was his consistency there like that last year.
No, not really. Kirk Cousins kind of like
There you go.
he got a slump towards the end of the season.
Any given Sunday he can slump off.
Any given Sunday, but that's any quarterback though.
Right. Even
People
we
are sold on Mitchell Trubisky, but Mitchell Trubisky's terrible. So, well, they're sold on the Chicago Bears and their defense. They're not. Nobody's going to talk about Mitchell Trubisky.
I definitely ain't sold on him.
So take your pick. Who you want, Mitchell Trubisky or Kirk Cousins?
Man, give me Tyrod Taylor.
What? You taking Tyrod Taylor over Kirk Cousins?
Give me
That's
Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, you smoking. You literally
So you
smoking.
telling
Like,
me you're not impressed with Gardner Minshew?
I'm okay with Gardner Minshew, but I'm not taking no Gardner Minshew over Captain Kirk Cousins.
Nah, I wouldn't. Let me stop talking foolishness. I wouldn't take him over Kurt. Kurt,
No, absolutely not.
he's a slinger, man. I don't like his style. I guess I don't know.
Last thing before we end up closing out, since we kind of like touched on this before. What do you see in this Miami Dolphins and Pittsburgh Steelers Monday night game?
Let's see. All y'all really got to do is load the box, double juju, and let Deontay Johnson do all his little catches. Might be a low.
Oh, it sounds like you just sound. It sounds like you just want the Pittsburgh Steelers to lose. What's going on with that?
I'm just not too excited because the offense is. It's not what I'm used to seeing. It's not what we've been used to seeing for the past 6, 7 years.
It's been longer than that since Dick LeBeau left. Y'all been playing kind of.
No.
Oh, excuse me. We talk about the offense.
Yeah.
My bad. Talk about the offense. Yes. The offense. My apologies.
It's not what we used to seeing.
You just spoiled. You spoiled. That's what it is. You spoiled.
I really am, man. And the defense is looking good now.
Took them long enough. How many first round picks you had to put into that defense for it to be something decent?
Hey, we just needed one more, y'all's. That's it.
That was okay. We did all the work.
Minka's
picked up the scraps.
He looked like he's turning the defense into something else. Like it's not so many shots being taken at them. I guess it's because he's playing his natural position.
Are we playing on that Troy Polamalu level?
No. No. I think Devin Bush is he getting to be that type of playmaker, that type of game breaker. But only the future will tell. My prediction is maybe 21-17, 17-14, Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm going 24-20, Miami Dolphins. First dub of the season. At home.
What y'all kicking all field goals?
Nah, we're scoring touchdowns on y'all suckers.
Okay, buddy.
We about to see how good that defense really is.
I don't think you did. You see what they did to the Chargers and what the Chargers did to y'all?
I ain't worried about the Chargers. See, this is what people fail to realize. Football is about a game of matchups. So any given Sunday, a team could lose. I know the Philadelphia Eagles are having a hard time. Philadelphia Eagles fans are having a hard time getting their head wrapped around this because the Philadelphia Eagles are going to beat the Jets. The Dallas Cowboys lost to the Jets. It's just matchups. All it is just matchups. Who matchups better with certain teams?
Well,
and
tell that to the Patriots.
I think we match up very well to y'all.
Tell that to the Patriots fans.
Well, honestly, who has the Patriots played? They haven't played anybody. I've been saying this since week 3 when they rated the Patriots have the number 1 defense in the league. Like, you haven't played anybody. You played the Dolphins. I'm sorry, that's my squad. But the Dolphins are terrible. We threw 2 pick sixes. 2 pick sixes at the end of the game. And one of them was the most stupidest pick six I've ever seen in my life. So, come on now. You played the Giants. What the hell? The Giants are terrible.
I'm not gonna lie, the Dolphins are pretty terrible. That was the first time I ever seen a slow motion reverse onside kick get returned.
The Dolphins are not a bad team. They're not a bad team. They just like you act like we getting blown out. Like the Dolphins ain't getting blown out. Like they keep the games close. They literally keep the games close.
Those are the dangerous teams. Those are the ones that can keep the game close.
Yep. So like I said,
week 1, y'all definitely got blown out.
We got blown out week 1. There's no doubt about that. The Dolphins got blown out week 1.
Week 2 blowout.
We kept the game close until the fourth quarter. Hey, we went into halftime. We was only down by 6. Down by 6.
Do you remember the score from week 2 and who y'all played?
We played the Patriots.
The final score is 43-0, dude.
Look at the box score. See where all the points were scored.
Man, it's a 60-minute game. All right, whatever. Week 3, 31-6. Y'all didn't have a chance. I actually watched that game.
Who we play week 3 again?
The Cowboys.
The Cowboys?
Yeah.
We had a chance in that game. That was a chance in that game. Josh Rosen went down the field, and we just missed out on some opportunities. Like, the score don't always tell the whole story. It really doesn't. It doesn't tell the whole story. It doesn't.
That's true. That's true, man. Sometimes garbage points get put on at the end of the game. All right.
There wasn't no garbage points.
The Chargers beat y'all by 20.
That game was close, too.
Hey, bro, I'm starting to see a pattern. I think the bye week beat y'all by 70.
So what you going to say? The Redskins beat the crap out of us, too?
Oh, no. Y'all the 2 sorriest teams in the league. It's supposed to be that tight.
Okay, so the Bills beat the crap out of us, too?
Oh, no, that was a close game, too, and the Bills are actually good, but...
It got me fooled because I don't think they're actually that good.
I mean, that's the only team that stood a chance against the Patriots, really.
It's a damn shame the Dolphins end up playing the Patriots week 2 at home because if they played it later on in the season, I feel like they would have walked away with that dub.
I agree. Well,
I guess I just like them silent. I guess that's what it is, huh?
Bro, I can't agree with you that the Dolphins are not a bad team. I don't know what Mike Tomlin was smoking, man.
It must be some good ganja, though. It definitely must be some good ganja.
Yeah, he went to the islands to get that.
All right. On that note, we're going to go ahead and call that a podcast. Wes, is there anything else you would like to put out there before we wrap this up?
Appreciate y'all listening to us, giving us y'all ears, y'all time. Feel free to check out all our other episodes. And hopefully get to record more for y'all in the future.
My man, again, I also appreciate everybody listening to the podcast in its entirety. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube, and also check us out on SoundCloud. This is the Not for Debate team. We are out.
We out.